So who are you?
I'm Dave.
Dave, what was your team's name?
They were the name.
Oh, so you're half of
I'm
the
half.
team that was no longer a team.
Yes.
And you split the name of the team.
And I'm only half of a man too, really. especially the guy that I played in The Name. He was half of a man. He was an evil, horrible monster.
Okay, so what genre did you get to do that
We
in?
got thriller suspension.
Oh, so you were the bad guy, I take it.
I was a bad man, and I did very bad things.
And did you enjoyed that? There's a smug satisfaction on your face.
I think I did. I think I kind of did like it a little bit, yes.
Yeah, that is awesome. So this is not your first trip?
No, this is not my first time to the rodeo. I've done the Film Fest for 5-ish years in a row with Everything But the Name, and then Everything But the Name, and then Everything But the Name, and now with the second half of Everything But the Name.
Yes. So for our listeners, you split the team in two. One side took one half of the name.
We did. We tried something really radical. Ed and Nathan are, in my opinion, very bright guys, and they came up with an idea. They wanted to try to do something where we each have separate stories. It's not the same story. It's not one episode after the other. Two different stories being told where they kind of meet a little bit at one point. They graze each other.
That's neat.
And we lucked out when we picked our genre. We both got thriller suspense. And we both wrote two different thriller suspense stories.
But you tied them in.
Which, let's just say they collide.
They reference each other.
They collide.
That is awesome.
Yeah, but they're two different stories. It's really pretty cool.
That's really cool. So, are you a professional media producer?
I am definitely not. I'm an actor. I like to perform. I'm a poet, and I do acting stuff, but I'm not a big producer. No, absolutely not.
Cool. So, are you local, Pittsburgh?
I am. Yep. Born and raised in Pittsburgh. I've done a bunch of plays in Pittsburgh and lots of shows, lots of bands. But never produced anything myself. I've always done acting.
So isn't this cool, though? Isn't this 48-hour film project like just a cool way for a community of artists to have some engagement, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
there's no question about it. You know, this is an opportunity, and I have to tell you, whenever I started doing this about 4 years ago, I thought to myself that what's going to be maybe about 12 teams, 10 teams on the high end. I was surprised to find out that there was something like, and I don't know the exact number, but I think it was something like 30 different teams participating in this type of event. In other words, you have 30 different groups of people with the technology, ability, and understanding to produce something, maybe not the best, most amazing thing, but something in 48 hours. That many bright young minds in this city right here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about it, right? It's about highlighting just another thing in the region that folks are doing to make the region better.
That's right.
And you can't have a progressive, moving forward city without art. And this is a chance for everybody to make art.
A great opportunity for that, a great opportunity for a lot of young people. And on my team, I really got to give some props to just a few people. We had a girl power team this time around. This was a team of strong women who did a lot of really brilliant acting, brilliant producing and directing, and just a lot of very strong women. And I was so proud and happy to be in their presence.
That's awesome. Well, what day is your screening day?
We're groups, I think next Saturday, I think. When's our screening date, do you know?
I was trying to remember that myself.
What group are you?
Group C.
Group C screening day.
Next Saturday.
We'll figure it out.
We're in Group C.
I'm Michael Cornell. I was the assistant director for The Name because we split up. Yeah, we're with David's group as well.
Cool.
And Natalie.
I'm Natalie Stewart.
So you're part of the Girl Power group. Your actor, whose name is eluding me right now, was talking about how many women you guys had on the team. Am I mixing up people?
No, you're absolutely
You had women
right.
on the team, right?
We had a film that really showcases the strength of women. Well,
Yeah.
at the end at least.
Cool.
You'll
So,
see.
what genre?
Thriller suspense.
Thriller suspense. And the actor, whose name's eluding me, David, I assume played the bad guy.
Yes, he did.
Because he has like a bad guy vibe.
What I find so funny about that is it could not be further from his character. He is he let me stay at his place, so I'd have to drive all the way back home.
Yeah.
And there wasn't even a pause. He just
And you weren't worried he was going to kill you in your sleep?
No, I trust him fully. He's, as I like to say, one of my favorite people.
So what's your takeaway? 48 hours later, what's your takeaway? Like, what did you get out of this experience as a person, as a team, philosophically?
I think I learned a lot about the process, but would you like to answer? I just noticed that I've been talking over you this whole time.
Well, I thought one of the really interesting parts about the team this year was that it was one team last year broken into two teams. And the idea was that one team would be the hare and one team would be the tortoise. And we'd work together to develop a story once we picked our genres, but then work completely independently in the production process.
That's neat.
And so it was constantly a reminder that you can start with the same grain of an idea and then go in completely different directions.
Yeah, I think that's a really awesome idea that you guys did like team collaboration around a central theme. That's really neat. That'll be neat to see how that plays out.
It goes back to that old principle. If you could run the universe back and play it again, would it turn out the same way?
Right. Yeah. No, that's neat. Yeah.
And
so there is something deep and philosophical that in this nugget of 48 hours.
And another thing I've found absolutely fascinating about this year, because Team Tortoise went through a sort of a different technique than we usually do. We actually storyboarded and scouted locations, well, as much as you can do in 48 hours. And for a while, I really liked the idea of doing that, but for a while I was concerned that maybe we had gone with the wrong
strategy.
Technique.
Yeah.
But similar to what happened with the writing, it would seem like how are we ever going to get this done? And then it's kind of like that loading screen where it's a 2% and then okay, wow, we're done. It was fascinating. It's really true what they say. You can so much hours of preparation saves so much hours of production. It was just a very interesting process. Basically, a case study in pre-production.
Awesome. So, is there a Twitter account?
Oh, do you know?
No Twitter.
A Twitter.
We should
Is there
get
any
on
kind of
that.
social media?
I'm sure there's Facebook. Yeah, I think there's Facebook for everything but the name.
I don't know.
I
just
believe
joined the
there
team
is.
this year.
I check us out on Facebook, everything but the name, unless they split it, and then in that case it would be
Everything.
Everything. The name.
The name.
Is ours.
That's
And
yours. Okay.
I apologize in advance if somehow I screw that up. I'm pretty sure that's right.
And you're
but-
exhausted.
Well, that too, but not nearly as much as in previous years. I actually have a lot of energy. I'm loving this.
That's going to end pretty soon, I suspect. You're going to crash.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't expect to be conscious within the hour.
Awesome.
One thing for me was that everything we imagined into the script worked out, and it was completely unplanned. Like, we wrote for two young girls, which it's difficult to find young, experienced actors,
and then we
didn't
had
even
them.
know what our actors were going to be like, and they were
Perfect.
the most amazing
Yes,
girls
they
for the
were.
part, and took the film to where it is. And then we also wrote a part for a crash scene, and then magically, like, a helicopter aerial view came into our lap, fell into our lap. So just like, if you can imagine it, it'll create itself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So some serendipity.
Yeah. Amazing.
One word. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry, but one word of advice for the people out there:
Yeah, please.
have a portable printer.
Really?
Portable battery-powered printer. It's saved. Somebody on our team has that, and it has saved our butts a couple years.
So for scripts or for...
Scripts or props. A lot of times, this was not this year, but in a year past, it was the umbrella one. I forget what Friendstat. On Friendstat, we needed two people with identical ties, and we didn't have them. So we printed a tie, and it looks completely real.
Hi, I'm Kathy Rescher, and I was on the team called The Name.
Oh, so you are another part of the team, The Name. So I've met David, and I've met... Michael, and now I'm meeting Kathy. Cool. So we've talked a lot about your project because you guys are doing something cool. You have these two teams kind of working in tandem a little bit around a central idea or central theme. So what did you do specifically
So I helped on, there are 2 teams,
Yeah.
nicknamed Tortoise and Hare.
Uh-huh.
After the 2 producers, one who's usually slightly more meticulous and therefore likes to take his time, and the other one who,
Wild.
generally speaking, yeah,
Like
is
Charlie
a little bit
from
more
Always
like,
Sunny in
okay, this is good
Philadelphia.
enough. Let's carry on, shall we? And actually, I was the script advisor on that, and that was my first time script advising. I've
Cool.
been
So
on
are
short-
you a writer by profession?
I'm not a writer by profession, although I had done the 48-hour film project. I had led a team several years ago, and we did quite well. We got
Yeah.
best acting that year. That was great.
That's awesome.
But I hadn't been back since, and so I kind of wanted to join somebody else's team and get involved. But I did notice that when I did the 48-hour film project the first time, that was sort of my first time doing a short film, and I noticed that the screenwriting aspect of it was the weakest link.
Yeah.
So then I started to kind of educate myself about screenwriting. So I know a little bit about it now that I've read a couple books. And
Yeah. So do you do this to kind of spread your creative wings? Like what motivates you to do this grueling 48 hours of what I assume is very taxing, sometimes stressful, sometimes, I assume there's all these sort of negatives associated with it. Like what motivates you to come and do something like this?
That's a really good question, because like the first time I did it, I felt like I aged 7 years in a weekend. This was for me, way easier.
Yeah.
Not being sort of in the hot seat, because the first time I was producing it,
Yeah.
and sort of directing as well. And I didn't know what I was doing, because everyone on my team, we was like the blind leading the blind. But everyone had been doing it for several years now, and these guys have worked together before, so they have a good sort of working rapport, and they understand how things go. So it was much easier. It's much easier. And so what makes me want to do something like this? It's a little masochistic, I suppose.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun. And in a very short period of time, you have a product at the end of it, and that really satisfies and gratifies my creative side. Is that okay? Yes, it's grueling, but after 48 hours, you have something to show for that effort.
Are you, what do you do professionally?
So professionally, I actually run a marketing and design firm. And
So you do dabble in the creative side of things pretty frequently.
I do.
But this is a different kind of creative.
It is a different kind of creative. Usually, I'm always sort of in the more project management, artistic director position. Yeah. But this is really much more hands-on, which really appeals to me.
And there's no client.
And there's no client.
Because clients, as much as we love them, don't necessarily give you the creative freedom that you need.
Correct. And in this case, I guess my client is technically the producer-director, but he's not paying me.
So it changes the dynamic.
It does a little bit, and unfortunately, it means that I get to go home when I want to and sleep, and they don't. But no, it's a lot of fun, and it's always cool meeting new people and collaborating with more folks and kind of expanding my roster of talent. And there's a lot of talent here in Pittsburgh, which I'm always keen to meet those types of folks.
Well, and that's one of the things that we're kind of fixating on these days. So we run a co-working space up on the hill.
Oh, okay.
And primarily about half the people that occupy it are freelance folks, whether they're marketing, or just, graphic design or animation, stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But we've noticed that the arts community, at least this sort of independent, professional sort of arts freelance community, doesn't have a real good sense of self. Like it doesn't collaborate, it doesn't engage, it doesn't kind of overlap in multiple ways. And so we're trying to figure out how do we get people
How do we do that? So, and artists, as you probably know, aren't really good at always marketing themselves.
They're not.
And actually, that's why I hate to plug myself. But,
Do it.
All right. Well, that's why I started my company called Mob Communications. The idea was literally because Pittsburgh does have a huge talent pool. The idea was to kind of bring these people together. So when a client comes to me from Los Angeles or San Francisco and they say, okay, we have an exhibit design and we need a logo, and we need a website, and we need an app, and we need all these things, and we need some video.
We do the exact same thing on the Hill. We act as a digital service agency on the front, and we collect talent, and we sub out the jobs.
Well, we should talk.
We should definitely
talk.
Or online.
Off air.
We're all about freedom of information. No, for sure. No. So, but that's what we see as one way to kind of force these communities to have more engagement is if there are entities like you and I that are sort of acting as facilitators of economy, right? Like we're looking for a big West Coast client who has deep pockets for the Pittsburgh market, right?
Right.
And then making people interact that aren't necessarily subbing together in a way.
Absolutely. It was a real shame because one of my potential clients, someone I had worked with doing website development, had worked with this client or technology out of CMU, and the new CEO happened to be is now based in Portland, Oregon. And I was telling him, I'm like, you really should work with us because A, we already know all the players that you're now dealing with, and we've worked with them before, and we know about the technology. Hire us. But he wanted to have somebody in-house that he could walk by their desk every day and, kind of control.
Bark at them.
Yeah, and I thought that was really unfortunate. So I wish that
and that's also kind of like very 2000, 1990s, right? That's not like modern. Way to do business.
And those people generally aren't the type of people that I really want to be doing business with. I want someone who is like, hey, you guys are the creatives.
Right.
You know what you're doing. You're working with people who are specialists in their field, and you're bringing all those people all that talent to us that we wouldn't know otherwise.
And at a price point, because we are the Pittsburgh market, that's lower than LA, Vegas, Portland, Boston, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, and I could probably keep listing. Toronto. I could probably keep listing major cities.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, hey, well, thanks for hopping on.
Absolutely. Thank you.